Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel Twist and Turn with Neville. And on today's video, before we get to it, if it's your first time tuning in, thank you very much for tuning in. And if you've been around, feel at home. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. On today's proceedings on the Senzo Meyiwa trial, there was Colonel House, who was supposed to be cross-examined by Advocate Mnisi, because he's the one that never got a chance to cross-examine Colonel House. But then we are busy with this case, which is something that happened in 2014, and now it's 2024, but we are still dealing with something that happened in 2014 because there's a lot of corruption that is going on in the court system, and there's a lot of shenanigans that are going on behind the scenes. I can't prove that for sure, but that is the case. Senzo was murdered in 2014, and anyone who is interested in this case, they want to know the person who murdered Senzo Meyiwa and to know the reason why was he murdered. Now, on today's video, it began with Advocate Baloyi saying whatever that he had to say, and then after that there was Advocate Mngomezulu who took the stand, and he had to make some submissions and he had to say something. On what he was saying, Advocate Mngomezulu said he received the email with the section 205 that he'd been requesting, but what does the taxi violence operation Kaufela has to do with this trial? During that evidence, that section 205 that he was furnished with, there was something else that had to do with taxi violence, and we know for a fact that on this trial there's nothing that has to do with the taxi violence. But then the doctor of delay tactics, Advocate Baloyi, he came and explained why there was that information on that document and whatnot. You know, in fact, I don't think there's anyone who's interested anymore in hearing what Advocate Baloyi has to say, because from the beginning of the trial to where it is today, if you take a look at how things are going, you'll realize that the state is making it intentionally impossible for the defense to run the trial fairly. This trial is no longer fair. And the advocates, the defense advocates, they did mention that this trial is a trial by ambush. I don't know what you have to say on that, but the way I see it, the way things are going in that courtroom, there's nothing fair, there's nothing that is going on that is going right. The way I see it, this is my opinion. Yeah, but that was short-lived, as Mngomezulu was determined to express his displeasure of what was happening in the court. He even requested the guidance of the court on the new evidence that he'd received, and Advocate Ramusipili also was in agreement of what Advocate Mngomezulu was saying. Advocate Nisi then mentioned that he was in the process of cross-examining Mr. House, as I have said earlier, and there's new information that surfaced having to do with accused number 3. And there's a mysterious number among that information that Advocate Mnisi received. It's information that was received overnight, and I saw that stack of papers that he was holding in his hands. It's a very, very, very huge document. It's not something that you can go through it overnight and then consult after that, and then come back, prepare yourself, come back to run with the trial. But then, I'm not an advocate. I'm not an advocate. I'm not taking sides, but anyone who's watching this trial as it goes, they can see clearly that there's something of going on with this trial. And funny enough, the advocates are always complaining about what they are not receiving, but when it is advocate Baloyi who is dropping the ball, we don't see Judge Rata lashing out. We don't see Judge Rata bringing him to order. We don't see Judge Rata doing anything. It's like Advocate Baloyi is getting away with murder and no one is saying anything. But if it's the defense, that thing will be corrected, reprimanded, and because I don't know what's going on there. But whatever it is, it's not good. Also, Advocate Numalo received additional information in the morning which was never supplied to him on Tuesday, the 30th of April 2024. So it's like the state is playing delay tactics on purpose so that whatever the defense has to do, they have to work harder to get up to speed with what they are doing as the state. I don't know what's your take on it, but for me, this trial, I don't see it coming to an end anytime soon. There's a lot of shenanigans that are going on there. There's a lot of corruption going on there, and there's been a petition that has been doing the rounds. I'll also put that link in the description box so that you can check it out. If you've never signed it, just have a look, and if you're interested, sign it. If you want to sign it, if you don't want to sign it, then it's fine. But I'll just drop that link of that petition in the description box below. Also, Advocate Numalo, what he added on what he was saying is that he was told by host that there was, when he analyzed those records, there were SMSs as well, and Numalo hasn't received those SMSs. The judge noted everything that was said by the defense, that was said by the state as well. But for me, this thing is not going the right way because Judge Rata is not reprimanding Baloyi for dropping the ball. In fact, he's not saying anything. He's not saying anything on what the state is doing, which is a problem to the defense for them to run the trial in a fair manner. Advocate Mshololo raised that on Tuesday when they adjourned, the state supplied to them incomplete information, which is the statements of Brigadier Kininda. Those statements were not complete according to Advocate Mshololo. They were told it would be supplied to them later in the day, and those pages never came. Out of the bundle that was supplied on Tuesday, there were bank records for accused 5 from Absa Bank. She managed to secure a consultation in prison when the visiting hours would not allow her to visit accused number 5, but she was allowed. This morning, she received another bundle of documents from the state and she hasn't been able to read them. She also received an email last night at 2300 hours and she wasn't told not to sleep and wait for the email. This is the part where Advocate Mshololo had to say that this is a trial by ambush, and that didn't sit well with Advocate Baloyi, even though we know that whatever he's doing there, this trial. Then she said the state is dishonest and not telling the truth, that they need time to investigate and to compile all the necessary records that are supposed to be supplied to the defense so that they can consult properly and be able to run with this trial. So I don't know what's your take on what was happening today in that courtroom, but by the look of things, whatever is happening there is not good. It's not good. The defense is not happy. All of them, in fact, if you were to put them in one room and ask them one by one, they are not happy about what is going on. And if it's the defense that is not happy, imagine the public that is interested in the runnings of this trial. How are the people feeling when they see this going on? If you know very well, you've been following this trial, you'll realize that Senzo Meyiwa was murdered in 2014. We are still in that process of trying to find the truth, and it's 2024. 10 years later, a decade has passed, and we haven't found the truth of who killed Senzo and why. On the other hand, we see Advocate Baloyi playing his delay tactics, and he's not being reprimanded. No one is saying anything. Even Judge Rata is quiet as if he's not there. But if it's the defense, they scream their lungs out, calling them to order and to object on whatever that they had to say. This trial is no longer fair, according to me. I don't know how you say it, but for me, when I say it, this trial is no longer fair. But then, let's wait and see. Till next time, peace.
My Lord, the state supplied to us the incomplete information. The incomplete statements of Colonel Genenda, my Lord. We were told that they will be supplied later in the day, which was on Tuesday, on the 30th of April, my Lord. And those pages, they never came, my Lord. Out of the bundle that was supplied to us on the 30th of April, my Lord, there was a bank records for accused number 5 from Absa Bank. I managed to secure a consultation in prison, my Lord, even if it was not legal visit was not allowed. However, the head of the prison allowed me to consult. I consulted on that document, which is Absa records, which was made available to me on the 30th. This morning, I received another bundle of documents from the state, of which I have not been able to read them. I can see also the email was sent last night at 2300 hours, of which I was not told not to sleep and wait for this email. Unfortunately, I couldn't read it overnight. As a result, my Lord, I would like to place it on record that this is a trial by ambush, my Lord. Yesterday, I had all the day to consult with my client on all the documents that the state is preparing or anticipating to use. However, the documents were not supplied to me, especially the affidavits which were marked by my learned friend, Mr. Baloyi, that there are pages that are missing. And my Lord, what is very bad in this trial is that the state is dishonest with this court. The state is not telling the truth in this court, that they need time to investigate and to compile all the necessary records that are supposed to be supplied to the defense, so that we can be able to consult properly and then be able to run with this trial. Now, Mr. Host,
I strongly object to the language employed by my learned friend, say that we are dishonest. We are officers of this court, will never be dishonest. No, English is not our language, but I suppose that's not really what, or I want to believe that's not what my learned friend is implying, but we will never be dishonest.
Okay, thank you, my Lord. They are honest. The state is honest, my Lord. I'm changing from dishonest to honest. The state is honest. My Lord, the witness is called now to the witness box to proceed with this trial, whereas we are being supplied with information which is relevant to this witness this morning, my Lord, which makes it difficult for us, for even to formulate our defense and the case that we need to put to this witness who is currently in the witness box. Okay. My Lord, the supply of documents in piecemeal is affecting the whole process, my lord. Today we're giving this, tomorrow we're giving this, and tomorrow we'll be surprised to receive other documents. That's the point that I'm trying to make, my lord. But I'm not saying if the state says they are not dishonest, they are honest.
Is that sarcasm?
My lord, it's because they are in front of the court, when my learned friend is making submissions, he's not being truthful to tell the court that we have supplied the documents which were incomplete on the 30th. And we have not been able to finish the defense with the outstanding documents. That's where it's supposed to start.